Going on a cruise ship means you get to see and experience a lot of different things, and in some cases, occasionally, you might actually see or experience something truly strange. And this week, I've got to look at the strangest things that our readers have seen up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and I've got something a little different for you this week because after all, there's nothing quite like telling a story about something that you experienced, that you saw, that's truly unbelievable. Like, you have to assure the person that what you actually experienced, witnessed, is actually what happened. And sure enough, just like when you see some weird things happening in the grocery store or at your kid's school or at a ballpark, these kind of weird things can happen on a cruise ship. These are not like terrible things. They're just odd things that make you scratch your head, do a double take, or simply just question that it actually happened at all, even though you saw it with your own two eyes. And I reached out to the Royal Caribbean blog readers about this exact question and asked them, what's the strangest thing that they have seen on a cruise ship? And I told them it has to be something that they have actually witnessed themselves, not second or third hand stories from somebody else. Because after all, just like, the fish was this big kind of stories, you can't trust those kinds of things. It's got to be something that you've actually seen. So we're going to take people at their word that they have seen these stories. So here I've got the list of the strangest things that people have seen on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. First up, Caden Dean shared an experience in which he was watching The Quest on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship, which is the adult scavenger hunt show. And during the show, a drunk contestant took off his pants during the challenge, and he wasn't wearing any underwear. Yikes. His back was the audience, he said, but he didn't conceal things while disrobing. I'm not easily shocked, but I was surprised. Yeah, The Quest is definitely a collection of a lot of strange experiences because it's an adult scavenger hunt show, and I can't really do it justice by explaining it here, but essentially, it's a show that encourages the contestants to try to go to whatever lengths they need in order to gain points. Now, it's not too crazy, don't get me wrong, and this is still a family cruise line. But disrobing some garments, not everything, is usually part of the show. But the fact that this person went to the point of doing the full Monty, yeah, that's a little over the edge there. I'm sure the staff was quickly encouraging that guest to get back into their clothes again. Next up is Amperp85, who went on a Nile River cruise, not on a Royal Caribbean, admittedly. It was actually on the Mövenpick Royal Lotus, and there was a family that had service animals that included a goat and German Shepherd. Dog, I can understand. The goat, that's an interesting one. He writes, we barely heard it, but we also knew both animals stayed in the family's rooms. It was so random. Amperp85 also added that back on Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Seas, he had a guest who was staying in a nearby stateroom that would come out of his room into the hallway, do a few stretches in his thong, and then go back inside. He says he assumes there were just too many people in the room. That is also truly strange. Barbie G wrote that they were on a Royal Caribbean cruise in early December once, and right after those beautiful decorations had been put up, they observed a woman walk up to one of the gingerbread village houses, break off a piece of the roofs on the house, and then eat it. And they added, as if we don't get fed enough on the ship. Yeah, this is a strange one. I mean, first of all, you're breaking off food that who knows where it's been, who else touched it, all those other things, etc. But, right, as if there isn't enough food all around you on the ship, you need to stop by one of the Careful Creations and break off that food and eat it. Yeah, I can't explain that one either. Now, Loves to Dance wrote about something that I think unfortunately happens way more often than we probably like to think happens, but they wrote, a woman in the Windjammer on boarding day lunch put the ladle from the Alfredo sauce to her mouth to taste before putting it on her pasta and then put it back in the container, adding that it was strange and gross. And unfortunately, buffets have a reputation for being, buffets. And the only good thing, I got to say, out of this whole current health protocols with requiring the Windjammer to be full service instead of the guests serving themselves, is that it really does prevent a lot of odd scenarios. I mean, listening to this, I'm thinking to myself, who would do that? But I guarantee you this happens more often than we think, or something similar where guests are basically treating the buffet experience kind of like when they're in their own kitchen, where you're making sauce, maybe you dip your finger in there because it's your food, but still, this is a public area. My goodness. Smokey Bandit wrote that there was a couple that wears outlandish matching outfits every day, intentionally way over the top stuff, but hilarious. I'm sure some of you frequent cruisers have seen them. And certainly I have seen, maybe not every single day, but people wearing things intentionally to be either ironic or just simply over the top because, hey, you're having fun on a cruise ship. Certainly, it can be strange to think that it's one thing to wear it for like 20 minutes. It's quite another to be wearing it every day or throughout the day. But yeah, there's a lot of people who love that kind of thing. And hey, if that's your thing, more power to you. Next up, we have a story from Mike Day, who writes, this older lady who had a walker with a basket. In the basket was a fur real cat and a huge horn. You could hear her all over the ship. She would honk that horn if she felt you were in her way. My daughter and I got in an elevator as my husband was about to step on, and there she was. She honked that horn at him, and he jumped about a foot off the ground. We saw/heard her at customs on disembarkation day wearing 20 different crew badges. My daughter counted them. Yeah, there's a lot to digest there. I can't explain that one, but yep, I'm just going to leave it right there. Cruz Ian wrote, we were sitting in the hot tub around sundown, a little late in the afternoon to be honest, and a gentleman proceeded to get in with a full plate of Windjammer food. Most I remember him trying to eat what I think was chicken wings and watching pieces of the food falling into the water around him. Needless to say, it was a clear sign that it was time for us to exit and go get ready for dinner. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would think you would want to bring food into the hot tub or any pool for that matter. But yeah, I guess people are going to be people. Ryan Alt shared an interesting story. One was going on a cruise, and supposedly the person she was supposed to travel with couldn't travel. She was then assigned another guest in her cabin, apparently by her request. So another woman was in the cabin with her. I think the woman was blind, or the original passenger was blind, don't remember perfectly. Everything was going okay, weird but okay, until the first port stop. After the port stop, the woman noticed a starfish in the shower. Apparently, the other passenger brought a starfish on board and was keeping it, quote unquote, safe in the shower. Well, after a day or two, the starfish started to stink. Much hilarity continued after that. I got nothing for that. I don't even know where to start with this one, but I'm glad I wasn't that person who got asked to be the extra passenger. And I just had to end this video with the last story here from Jason L., who writes, the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I saw someone go to the buffet and get this, only get one plate of food without returning for more. Blew my mind. What? Who does that? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these stories. Let me know in the comments below, what is the craziest, strangest thing that you have seen on a cruise ship? Again, something that you have actually witnessed with your own peepers. I'm looking forward to reading some more of these stories in the comments below. If you found this interesting, hilarious, helpful, strange, odd, concerning, make sure you hit the like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. I promise most of our videos are not nearly this strange. And then hit that bell icon so you're notified when we have a brand new, not strange video to share with you. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.